We now have a demo from Pop Rideshare, who's come all the way from Vancouver. So we have Flo and Steven, and Pop Rideshare is a ride-sharing application that's already rode more than 3 million kilometers across Canada, and now they're looking to expand more to Eastern Canada. So they're here to show us a bit of what it's all about.
Thanks. Just to clarify, we didn't come from Vancouver today. That's a bit far if you're doing ride-sharing. We actually came from Kingston. We just opened an office in Ontario. So I'm Flo, and this is Steven, and we're here to show you what we do at Pop Rideshare. So our mission is to fill empty seats in cars and help people travel together between cities. So we're a long-distance ride-sharing platform. We started off in December 2014 between Vancouver and Whistler. It was actually a way to help people go skiing together. So that was kind of our niche market, and we've expanded since then, and now we've got 54,146 people, maybe a few more tonight, using our platform. So we're going to show you a quick map of where our trips are happening. So these are actually trips happening in the future. So as you can see, we're primarily active in Western BC, and because we're just expanding into Ontario, we're starting to see some spots appear on the East Coast, which is cool. But we've also got a bunch of random people in the States using our products without really doing any marketing. So we also think that's pretty cool. So we want to show you how it works, and we're going to start off by showing you a list of trips going out of Toronto. So these are our first few drivers, Steven here, including him. We actually drove here, and we drove 2 people from Kingston to Toronto through the platform, which was cool. So we've got a whole bunch of people that are using it primarily at the moment between Kingston and Toronto, because that's where we're starting off. And we want to show you Hang. Hang is working at the University of Queens, and he is in faculty, and he actually lives in Toronto. So he has to commute on a regular basis, and so we're helping him fill his empty seats in his car, and that helps him reduce his costs. He's, I believe, a PhD student, so he doesn't have a ton of money to spare. So you can see his trip here. He's leaving from Toronto to Kingston. He's got 5 seats available for people to book, $22 per seat, and he's already got a lucky booking from a girl called Kaka, which is an interesting name. And you can see through his trip that he's already driven a few people, and he's got a whole bunch of verifications, and you can see the map and so on. So we want to show you a few users that we have out on the West Coast that have been active for the last couple of years. So we'll start off with Dave. Dave is a heavy backcountry addict. He does like a crazy amount of skiing, and he goes to Whistler every weekend. He joined a couple of years ago, and he's driven almost 500 people. So for him, it's really about taking people into the mountains and showing them the mountains. So it's really cool on the experiential side of things. And then the second person that we have that's fairly active and just joined us last year is Georgia. And Georgia drives between Canmore and Calgary. And she actually works in Calgary, so for her it's more of a commuting thing. She does it almost every day. And she's driven 150 people already. So you can see the different use cases of our product as we go into different regions, which is kind of neat. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We now want to show you how it actually works. So tomorrow we are driving back to Kingston. So we're going to go ahead and post a trip for you, which, by the way, you could join if you need a ride back to Kingston. Why would you want that? Maybe to Toronto in the morning. So it's super easy. You just put your origin, destination. You can also say if you're stopping anywhere on the way and pick up and drop off people, you show your vehicle. That's our awesome pop van that's super branded. And then just some details on your trip, how many seats you have. And then you actually, as a driver, indicate the price. So we have a minimum of $5 and a maximum of 12 cents per kilometer. And that's so that we operate within carpooling regulations, because this is not like Uber where people are actually making salary, it's cost sharing. So people are contributing toward the cost of your journey if you're already going somewhere. And then you can add a description to your trip, and then off you go, you post the trip, and the trip should be posted. So what I'm gonna do now is show you our app, because we have an app on iOS and Android. And I'm gonna go ahead and book on Steven's trip, because I need to get back to Kingston tomorrow. It's actually Toronto. Okay, so I just do a search, and then I find his trip. We don't actually have anyone, but we will tonight, I'm hoping. So Waterloo to Toronto, you can see his trip, a bunch of details that he posted. I can go out and look at his profile. Hey, we're on Twitter. As he looks like a nice chap. Yeah, most of the time. And he's got, that's his profile, so you can see his stats. He's got a huge description. Holy, where have you been? He's been everywhere. Verifications, you can see his car. I've actually ridden with him before, surprise, surprise. And a bunch of trips that he's gotten and the friends we have in common. So super easy, you'd hit request to book, and this is how we actually make money. So he's requested $10 per seat from Waterloo to Toronto. Just gonna book one seat. We have a 15% booking fee on top, that's $150. So I'm gonna just go ahead and say, hey, mate. He's English, so. And then submitting the booking. So we're gonna go back to the website. He's gonna get a notification, hopefully. Yes, hey, that's me. And he can review my booking, so it's up to him as a driver to actually approve or decline me, because sometimes you might not be comfortable with the person who wants to get in your car for like 12 hours to, where's 12 hours from here, New York or something. But hopefully for 1 hour you can bear me. No. Approve. So he approves, and we'll go back to the app. And I get a push and a text message. So just in case you don't have data, you can actually approve people by SMS, which is cool. But in this case, I have the app. So my booking's been approved. I get his phone number, and I can send him a text message. I see my face there. Oh man, I had long hair. Yeah, and that's it. So it's pretty easy to use, and we're just getting started here in Ontario. So we've just got a few asks. One is if you have a car and you got empty seats and you're driving somewhere and you want to, make a bit of cash and help someone out, you can post a trip. Two, if you need to get back to Toronto tomorrow, come with us. It'll be awesome. And three, we're actually preparing to raise a bunch of money in the fall. So if we have investors in the room, please come and talk to me. I would love to tell you more. And otherwise, I'll take your questions. Thank you.
So you probably get this question. So I lived in Europe for a while, and I use BlaBlaCar, and I know the founders. So do you differentiate yourself, or you think this is just a different market?
Yeah, so there's a very prominent company in Europe called BlaBlaCar that have, I believe, over 50 million users. And they do this. I'm actually from France, so I also know them. And we want to prove to them that there is a market here, because they're focusing most of their efforts on emerging countries. So we're going after non-emerging countries, except for the States. Well, no, that's a different topic. But no, we actually do want to differentiate, and we've got a few things lined up that are not just ride sharing, that we can process through the platform. So yeah, we can't reveal everything today, but we've got a few things up our sleeve.
So the $10 fee there, how did you pay that?
So the passenger would go and pay with their credit card through our system. So if you wanted to book with me, you would just punch in your credit card details. Mine were actually already entered, which is why you didn't see them. So we saved your credit card details for your next booking. And then that would come off out of your credit card. So the $10 plus the $1.50, which is the 15% booking fee. And then what happens is we actually collect those funds, and after 4 days after the trip is ended, we will send you back the $10 and we will keep the difference.
How do you manage safety of the drivers as well as new passengers?
So it's very similar to a platform like Airbnb. So we have a bunch of verifications that we do right off the bat when you sign up. So we verify your email and your phone number. We have a driver's license verification program as well. At the moment it's optional because we're trying to get people in as much as possible. Down the line we'll probably start enforcing those rules more thoroughly. But then the community is actually leaving reviews on each other. So we have a whole review system where you can review people, but we also offer customer service. So we're, behind the scenes, we're helping you to have a great experience. So if anything happens, we're there to help. But what we find is that because people pay by credit card, we actually get quite a bit of information on people, and we're able to provide a really safe experience.
Have you considered adding in like a conversation function whereby you could list
these are things that I enjoy talking about. And if you match, then your ride is likely to be a lot more enjoyable.
Well, it's funny that you ask because it started with skiing. So this is what got us off the ground, is people wanted to go skiing. So, you know, to answer the other question about BlaBlaCar is these are the types of things we're looking at to try and maybe get people on trips, not just because they need to go somewhere, but because they actually want to go somewhere, right? So trying to contextualize the trip, not just by origin and destination, but also, hey, I want to go out to a festival or to a hike or something like that during the weekend. So we haven't got that in yet, but it's in our plans, yeah.
I just have a question about your long-term kind of strategy with Pop. Obviously, you're different than Uber in terms of you guys do like longer rides, but it's like something you guys hope for is an acquisition from one of the big ride-sharing platforms like Uber, and then there's the other one in the States. I can't remember the name of it. Lyft. Yeah, is that something you guys hope for, or is something you guys want to be a major player yourselves?
At the moment, it's still pretty early days, or we think it's pretty early days. And you know, the reason why we went into this is because we're passionate about two things: one, tech, and two, travel. So this is like the perfect mix because we're constantly traveling and we're building tech. So we don't really have any immediate plans to sell to a Lyft or an Uber. We want to build this out to be like the biggest community in Canada, and then expand to other places and grow the business. We're talking to BlaBlaCar at the moment, which is this company that you were talking about in Europe, and to see maybe if we could work together to accelerate the growth. But we want to keep doing what we're doing as long as we can, you know, enjoy it, and we're really, really having a lot of fun right now. So no immediate plans to sell, no.
Perfect. Well, I know there's a few more questions. We'll have to keep moving. But you guys will be around for a bit after?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.